Hey guys, I'm Woody. Welcome back to Piano Shack. In today's episode, we are going to discuss using an external monitor with your PSR or Tyros. We're also going to upgrade the firmware, and I'm going to tell you why you need to do that.
Woody Piano Shack.
Let me explain a little bit about how I connected this big 24-inch, I guess that is, monitor to my stand and how we've connected it into the synth here, okay? So onto the back of the monitor, I've screwed these VESA plates that we just screw onto the back there, and I've clamped in some Velcro straps so that I can just tension it up against the central column of the keyboard stand. It worked out really well. The weight of the monitor is sitting on one of the cable brackets. So that's taking the weight there, the Velcro straps are just making sure it doesn't wobble around. And I think I also put in a sort of one of those rubber mats to stop mobile telephones sliding around in the car. I put that between the VESA plate and the stand. So this thing is on there rock solid. Regarding the monitor connection itself, well, we're using one of these bog standard VGA connectors. All monitors have these. Very common on the older ones. I think even newer monitors still have these connectors. And this is a good thing, of course. The older generation of the Tyros and the PSR used, I think, of some kind of composite video, the little round sort of antenna connector that you could only use to connect to TVs. So you actually needed an adapter if you wanted to connect it to an external monitor. But the latest Tyros, I think the 4 and 5, and certainly the latest models of the PSR have VGA, which is much more convenient. Okay, let's bring the camera around to the front and I'll show you why you might want to consider using an external screen and what you can do with it. So you're probably asking yourself, why have I gone to all this trouble to connect up a monitor when the PSR itself has a pretty decent widescreen LCD color display built in? That's a fair question. Let me explain then. Well, the main reason was actually some of the screens have very small text. If I jump to the music finder here, okay, now I was struggling. Well, it's a bit of a strain to read some of these small letters, and when you're in some of the configuration screens on the configuration screens on the PSR, you get even smaller fonts than this, and it's a bit of a struggle to read. Plus, not so ergonomic. You end up sort of hunching over your keyboard here, straining to read what's on the screen, and it's much nicer to sort of lift your head up, lift your neck up, your head up, and look at a screen in front of you. So the ergonomics are much better. If you're using this thing for extended use, that could be important. Let's see, what other aspects are there that we need to consider? Well, of course, it was quite a cool thing to have on the videos. It is going to be much easier for me to point at features. You can easily see the screen, whereas you cannot easily see what's going on with this screen here. There are some disadvantages if I jump into the style selection mode. Now, when you're choosing a style or a sound, you have to use these soft buttons on the side that sort of line up with the selections on the screen. So, of course, it's not so easy when you have a screen up here and a screen down here. I end up sort of looking at the two of them. Any other reasons? Well, why not, of course. You can buy a 24-inch or a 19-inch monitor dirt cheap. I didn't buy this new, of course. I just checked the small ads in the area where I live, and there were dozens of these for sale secondhand for just $30, $40, $50. So I thought, why not? Let's test out this feature, and I'm actually really enjoying it as well. A few words of warning though. I had to try 3 or 4 different screens before I got one that actually displayed the screen correctly. Let's see. The first one I tried was a 27-inch that I have connected to my normal PC just as an experiment. Hooked that one up, and it only displayed a very small screen in the middle of the large screen. So we had a huge screen here, but actually quite a small display in the middle with lots of black borders around the side. So that was rubbish. I tried a 19-inch screen. That was okay. That displayed it slightly stretched, I think, with black borders at the top and the bottom, but it was okay. But that monitor had a nasty buzzing sound, so I didn't want to use that. So I picked this one up secondhand, and this one I think comes out pretty perfect. I wish I could stretch the image vertically slightly, because as you can see, we're only filling out part of the screen. If I jump to the mixer here, there we go. I think you can see that these round circles here, these knobs, actually stretched slightly sort of on the horizontal axis. So it's stretching the display to fit the screen horizontally, but not vertically. I wish it would just stretch it up. And I've investigated the menus. The only thing I can adjust is the position of it vertically. I can't scale it. Okay, the other topic I wanted to address today was upgrading the firmware of the PSR. Let's jump in and check what version we have right now. Go to the utility, and then we need to jump to, I don't think it's utility actually, let's jump out of there again. Menu 2, system, there we go. It's a little bit hard to find some of this information. Version, down at the bottom there. Whoops. Jump back into system, and we'll jump into version, which is that. So 1.01, this is kind of old. The version that we have latest from Yamaha is 1.05. So today our mission is to upgrade from 101 to 105. The firmware you download from Yamaha's website, and then you have to put it on one of these USB thumb drives, USB memory sticks. This one, I recommend you buying one like this actually. This is a very low profile one that doesn't stick out very much at all. So it's perfect if you want to keep it plugged into your instrument at all times. Because on this one I store also styles, I store MIDI files. You can record to this as well. I can do audio recordings to this. So let's pop this back into the keyboard. I've downloaded the firmware, which was about 50 megabytes, I think. And you put it on the root folder of the USB drive. Then what we have to do is hold down the start-stop button and power on, and let's see what happens. Of course, I've not done this before. Okay. Okay, to start this, then we press the start-stop button. Let's go ahead and do that. We're not getting anything on the external monitor right now, but that's okay. I was kind of expecting that, which is why I focused on this screen instead. Let's press start and stop. This thing will get busy. The update version is 1.05. Are you sure you want to continue? Yes, please. And off we go. There's the progress bar. So why would you want to do this? There's a huge thread on the PSR tutorial about the behaviour of these soft buttons to the side of the screen. Now, I've already complained about these. I hate them. For starters, they're black on black. So in a dimly lit room, which is what we have right now actually, they're pretty hard to see. You have to sort of grope around for them. Why they couldn't make these silver on the black, I don't know. You have to grope around for them. They're very small. It's very easy, and they're closely spaced as well. So it's extremely easy to press the wrong one, two at the same time. And finally, there's no sort of click response when you press them. You get no indication if you've actually pressed one or if you've pressed the right one. And in order to see if you've done that, you've got to stare at the screen. They're absolutely awful. They're really horrible. I hate the feel of these. And they're much sort of worse than previous PSRs I've owned. But anyway, not only that, apparently there's a problem with them registering presses. Either they don't register a press at all, or they register a double click when you press them once. And that's not so good, because that takes you out of the style selection mode or the voice selection mode or whatever menu you might be in, and it takes you back to the front screen. So then you've got to enter into it again. Okay, that was a success. It says the update has been completed. power the unit off and we'll start it up again. So yeah, there's a very long thread on the PSR tutorial forum with people that are extremely unhappy about this, and there is a sequence of tests you can do to see if your instrument has the problem. Now, I actually didn't find it to be too bad. I definitely had the problem, but it wasn't just something that bothered me. It only happened quite infrequently. But here's what would happen. You'd go into your style select screen, for example, and then you press these to choose your style. That's fine, but if you do a double click, then you choose the style and then go back to the first screen. And that's what was happening without you actually doing a double click. You were doing a single click and getting thrown back to the first screen. So what really bothers me more is that you have 10 sounds here, and then you have to step between different pages here. So if you want to sort of preview or scroll through all of the sounds in a certain category, well, you can't. I mean, every single pro synth and keyboard I've owned before, you were able to just step up or step down or scroll through the presets. And that was a very nice, convenient way to easily sort of preview the sounds if you're searching for something that you have in your mind. Here, no, we can't do it. You have to step through pages and then actually move your hand around and select different sounds here. I don't like it. You can actually, using this dial, scroll between the 10 sounds that are on the screen. Oh, actually, yeah, look, I can scroll through all of the sounds, but they're not changing. They don't change until you press the enter button. Okay, so nothing's happening until I press the enter button, and that's a horrible way to scroll through hundreds of different sounds if you're looking for the perfect sound for a track or a song. So I really hate the navigation system on this instrument. It's a real pain. Okay, so I think we can wrap up there. I've showed you why you might want to consider using an external monitor, and we have succeeded in upgrading the firmware, which is really cool. Let's see if I actually notice any improvement with it in use. So there you have it. I hope you found that informative. Not so much musical demos in this video, but don't worry, there's plenty more in the pipeline. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again real soon. Don't forget, please, to subscribe, like, comment and all that good stuff. It means a lot to me. I'll see you shortly. Ta-da!